Hello and welcome to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to understand how to create SendGrid contact for Elementor Form Submission. So let's say that you are receiving new leads through Elementor, and here every time a form is submitted and you have received a new response, then you want that the person who has just filled up the form should be created as a contact in SendGrid, which is an email marketing tool. Now to do this, you will have to integrate Elementor with SendGrid, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect. So my trigger will be Elementor and my action application will be SendGrid. Now to understand how you can integrate and automate this entire process yourself without the need of any coding skills, let's begin. So this here is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect, and you can reach here by clicking on the link which is given in the video description. So if you are an existing user, you will have to only sign in. But if you are a new user, you will have to sign up. It is not going to take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you are going to get 100 free tasks to test all these automations. Now once you reach the dashboard, on the right hand side there's a tab Create Workflow. Click on this. This dialog box has appeared, and here you have to name your workflow. So you can give any random name. I'm going to name it as per my objective, which is to create SendGrid contact for Elementor Form Submission. Now I'm going to click on Create. And as we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One here is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action here says do this. Basically, action is the automated response of your trigger application. Now let's understand this with the help of an example. So every time you swipe your card and the payment is made, you get a notification of the amount debited on SMS. How do you get that? With the help of automation. And in such a case, your trigger is the payment gateway and your action application is the SMS sending application. Now let's come to our use case. So here my trigger application will be Elementor. Let's click on this. And my trigger event will be new form submission, which means that this workflow is going to start every time a new submission is received. And now here you can see we have received this webhook URL. This URL is going to act as a connect between the two applications. So it is going to act as a bridge for connecting Elementor and Pabbly Connect so that Pabbly Connect has access to the information. So I'm going to copy this. Now what do we have to do? First of all, I'm going to take you to WordPress, and here you can see Elementor, which is a plugin. Now here we are going to go to submissions. Now within submissions, I have got the main forms that I have created. Let's say that this is the submission form and I'm going to work on this. So here is the form, and we have the three fields: name, email address and contact number. So what I'm going to do is, you can see this edit button, just click on this, and here are the fields. So we have the name, we have the email address and contact. Now let's say that you want to add more fields, you can always do that. For example, here I'm going to label it as first name because I need first name as well as last name. Here again I'm going to write first name. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and here I'm going to write last name, and here again I have to write last name. Now here I want the first name to come first, so I'm going to drag this, and this is how I have placed this. So we have got the first name, last name, then we have the email address and the contact number. Now if you wish to add more fields using the same method, you can do the same. Now we are going to go to actions after submit. So here we can see we have to add actions that will be performed after the visitor submits the form. So what do I want? I have received the webhook URL. So here I'm going to add webhook. And now I'm going to go to webhook. And here you can see that we have to enter the URL that we had just copied. So I have done the same. And once this is done, I'm just going to save this. And once we have saved this, now taking you back to Pabbly Connect, here it is waiting for webhook response. Which means that once we have added the webhook URL, we have to do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. Basically, to understand if Elementor and Pabbly Connect are properly integrated, now we are going to do a test submission. So let's go back to the form, and here I'm going to view the page. So here is the form right in front of us. So let's say the first name here is Smart, the last name is user1, this here is the email address, and the contact number is +91. This is just a random number. I'm going to click on send. And as we do that, we can see our submission has been successful. Going back to Pabbly Connect, we have captured the response here. So this is the form name ID. Then we have the last name, first name, email address and contact number. Now once we have received all these details, with these details, I want to create a contact in SendGrid. So here my application will be SendGrid. Let's click on this. And the action event here will be to add or update a contact. Let's click on connect. So here Pabbly Connect wants to connect with SendGrid account. I have selected add new connection as I'm setting up this connection for the first time. Now we need the token to set up this connection. To receive this token, first let me take you to my SendGrid account. Here we have got settings. Within settings we have API keys. Now here I'm going to create an API key. So let's say the name of this key is Elementor integration. And now I'm going to create and view. So this here is the key. Let's copy this, go back to Pabbly Connect, paste the same here and click on save to set up this connection. Now once this is done, here we have to enter the information. So first of all, the name of the list has come. So let me take you back to SendGrid. Let's go to marketing and here we have got contacts. So you can see that I have created a few lists in which I can add the contacts. So here we have the global list. Then we have a form stack leads, Google Forms leads and new leads. Now if you wish to create a new list, so you just have to click here and this is the option to create a new list. Let's say it is Elementor leads. Now I'm going to click on save list. And we can see another list has been created. Once this is done, taking you back to Pabbly Connect, I'm going to refresh this part. Now as I click on this, you can see all the lists that I have created. And here I'm going to select Elementor leads. Next we have email address. So here we have to enter the email address of the user who has just filled up the form. I'm going to click on this. You can see the previous step and this here is the response received. And this is the email address of the person. Now this method with which I have added the information here is known as mapping, and this is important so that every time the workflow runs, it can take the new data into consideration. Had I written this information manually, then even when I had received a new response, it wouldn't have taken the different response that we have received. Instead, it would have always taken the same information that we have written manually. So to avoid this problem, we map the information. Basically, you have to understand if there's an information which is going to keep on changing with every response, you have to map the data. And if it's going to remain static, in that case, you can just write it manually. Next is line item alternate email. This is not a required field. If you wish to give an alternate email address, you can write it here. Then we have the first name. So let's go back. This here is the first name. Last name, so this here is the last name. Then as I take you down here, we have to enter the unique name, address line, city, state, province, region, postcode. Then we have the country, phone number. So we have received the phone number and I have added the same here. Then we have WhatsApp, line and Facebook. If you require any of these fields, then you can create a field in Elementor Form and accordingly you will get the details. Or else if it is static, you can just write it manually. Now I'm going to simply click on save and send test request. And as we do that, here we have received the response. We have received this job ID. So let's go to SendGrid and check if this contact has been created there. So I'm going to take you to Elementor leads. And here we can see that this particular contact has been added in SendGrid. In which particular list? Elementor leads. So this means that our integration is a complete success. Now let's check the same in real time. So I'm going to take you back to Elementor Form Submission. Let's fill up the information. This time, let's say the first name is dummy. The last name is new123. Email address here is dummynew123456@pabblytudes.com. And here we have the contact number which is +91. Okay, now I'm going to click on send. And our submission has been successful. Now I'm going to take you to SendGrid and quickly refresh this page. And here we can see that this particular user has been added here. So this means our integration is a complete success. Taking you back to Pabbly Connect, let's understand what we have done. So this is an extremely easy two-step integration process where our trigger was Elementor, the event was new form submission, and our action application was SendGrid where the event was to update or add a contact. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us. Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.